I haven't been doing a lot of videos this week because I've been suffering from severe back pain, which really took a turn for the worse today. Although I did get some things done and managed to complete my Barren Void episode for this Saturday's Mr Nailsin Show, so you got that. But I've been meaning to address this little topic, so this is about all I'm going to get done, I'm afraid. And there more than likely will not be a Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics this Sunday. So, sorry about that. So, yes, Aquaman hates Trump supporters because, you know, he's bold and brave like the rest of Hollywood. He wants you to unfollow him if you voted Trump. So you can't follow Aquaman. It's only 75 million people, and that's, of course, is the conservative estimate. So what's the harm? You know, they'll make it up in China, which Aquaman actually did pretty good over there, you know. So, hey, maybe there's something to that. It didn't work out so great for Star Wars, so, you know, I want to think about that. But anyway, he referred to the brilliant observer of our times, Michael Rappaport, and all that crap. Momoa endorsed violent uprisings and all kinds of property damage. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just he's a pretty man who can play fantastic characters, and the girls like him, and he was able to finally bring in $1 billion for a franchise. He's been around some amount of time. He's supposed to take on the Conan franchise, but they couldn't come up with a good enough story and whatnot. None of that was his fault on its failures, I don't think. But that's just one of these examples of he's good at his craft, and that's it. He's a bit of a moron and everything else. It's this bizarre thing here of the cast from Justice League. It looks like he's like, hey, I can't be the only one left out, so he had to be a problem too. So, but this is kind of minor in the sense that he's just another dumb celebrity who acts like he's preaching against hatred by espousing hatred. You know, it's too stupid to understand that. And that's it. It doesn't matter. Does this mean I will not watch another Aquaman movie? No. It might be a good movie. So, it just is one of these things where, I don't know this man, and what this sort of stupid stuff is just stupid. It's stupid in the sense that, yeah, it could damage. There are people who say, well, all right, done with you, buddy. And that could be detrimental to the product. But it is this interesting thing, or not interesting, just kind of weird. But I guess it's part of the nature of actors and Hollywood people. But you have Ray Fisher, who burnt every bridge he has, just destroying his career for really no good reason. He never really brought any real evidence for his claims or anything like that. Yeah, he kept it all very vague and nebulous, and ends up getting fired from the Flash movie. Then you had, of course, real scandals, because Ray Fisher didn't really have one. He just created one out of thin air for himself, that is. You had Amber Heard and her war with Johnny Depp, and that torpedoed a lot of things. Eventually, I'm sure she's seems to be quite hated. There's all these petitions for her and stuff like that. And then Ezra Miller, of course, was not a very likable guy publicly anyway, because he's just a bit of an a-hole. And then he choked that woman, Of the 3 or 4 here now with Momoa's idiocy, which is rather minor compared to the others, it appears Ezra was the smartest in that he's pretty much kept quiet and a low profile, and he still has his Flash movie. I still think that all of these maintain their careers because of how AT&T is banking still on Snyder Cut, even though there's been rumblings now that it's not going to lead to any more sequels or anything. That's still an open question if it performs well. And then there's other people claiming that there's these huge divisions within Warner, from the AT&T camp and Warner Pictures. Warner Pictures just doesn't want anything to do with the Snyderverse and all that. Well, that's a little odd. If AT&T is wanting it, then they're going to have to do it. So if that's how it plays out, then, well, maybe there will be a Justice League too. But a lot of these scandal-ridden people would have been gone some time ago, but they were in the Snyder Cut. And the Snyder Cut was important to HBO Max. And if it performs well, yeah, it'll lead to sequels and all that sort of stuff. And maybe even Ray Fisher will have a career again. But it's got to really do well, and that's a hard burden for it to meet, even if it's good, because it's got to, you need to draw in the subscriptions, and even for the more successful streaming service at the moment, it's still none of them are achieving enough. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, it's just dumb things like this, and they are unable to see their own hypocrisy in the matter of, if you can even call this an argument that is presented by this sort of thing. So anyway, Ezra Miller is the smarter of the group here because he kept quiet. And the only sane ones appear to be Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and surprisingly Ben Affleck, who battled his own demons, but seems to have come out on top on that. Yeah. So, because if you could get those three to come back in those characters, you'd be fine. No one would really care if you recast them, except for Momoa. There's a fan base for him to be Aquaman, which there again, that's another thing. That's not really Aquaman, but it worked for the purposes of it. He performs this kind of funny character in Aquaman, and that seems to have performed well. He would have made a great Lobo, which is this odd thing where they were trying to push like Harley Quinn as like a female Deadpool, where in actuality Lobo would fit that more for DC, and it actually could be a combination of Deadpool meets Guardians of the Galaxy with Lobo, and Jason Momoa would have made a great Lobo, but instead he's kind of the same personality, only it's Aquaman. So it's funny how that worked out, but he's Aquaman now, and that's that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what he posts or anything. I don't go around calling for people to be canceled and deplatformed because they said something I don't like. Short of actually committing crimes or anything, he should stay being Aquaman, and I'll watch him in Snyder Cut, and I'm sure I'll watch Aquaman too, no matter what dumb crap he says. Anyway, there you go. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.